We began a scenario where Kakarot was found by the Red Ribbon Army, and now he's become an android after an encounter with King Piccolo. With everything that's changed so far, how's the story going to go from here on out? Let's begin the second part of What If the Red Ribbon Army raised Goku. Following the battle with King Piccolo, Krillin trains with Kami more. He has to train in order to fight Piccolo Jr. after all, because at some point Kami does figure out why he's still alive. Piccolo did birth another son. They can't find him, but it's Kami's second half. He knows he's out there. Regardless, Krillin is going to have to face him someday. As far as they know, the Black Ribbon Army is completely gone. It looks like Piccolo completely decimated them. Tien wonders if that means Kakarot's gone too. He was a pretty powerful warrior. Same for Mercenary Tao, because apparently he was hanging around with the Red Ribbon Army even further. Tien and Chaozu have left the Crane School by now, so they haven't been in contact with Chen. Maybe he would know something about it, but they don't ask. A few years go by. The 23rd World Tournament happens, and that's where Piccolo Jr. shows himself. But Krillin's ready. It's a tough battle, but he ends up winning in the end. Not only beating Piccolo, but also becoming the World Tournament champion for the first time. It's a pretty momentous occasion for him, and a clear indicator that his training has been paying off. But Piccolo Jr. isn't killed. Krillin almost does it, thinking that this would be the logical approach, but of course it's going to kill Kami in the process, so it's not really an easy choice. He's not just a villain they can kill right off the bat. Piccolo's still going to be out there. As for Krillin, Kami offers him the position of Guardian, and Krillin actually accepts it. This will be a huge next step for him. It could be an interesting endeavor, and he's up for the challenge. Let's go over to the Black Ribbon Army, or at least what's left of it. It's just Gero, Tao, Android 8, and Kakarot. Kakarot has grown up by now. Not long after the fight with Piccolo, he hit a growth spurt. Thankfully, he doesn't have too many cybernetic parts, so Gero didn't really need to change a lot about him, and the growth spurt didn't really affect any of his mechanical pieces. Gero built him with growth in mind, especially because he's able to turn Great Ape. Had Gero not foresaw that, well, Kakarot would have transformed into a Great Ape and it would have broken all the android parts. Anyways, speaking of Great Ape, Gero has been working with reverse engineering the space pod that Kakarot came in, using the projector inside of it to make a fake moon, and installing that in Kakarot's hands. The gems he uses to absorb ki can also make a fake moon now. So, whenever he wants, he could turn Great Ape. He used this opportunity to actually tame the form. He's grown a lot stronger too, and continues training with Tao. Recovering from his fight with King Piccolo helped him grow stronger, plus getting the android parts made him grow stronger. And, obviously, he's a Saiyan, so that's going to help too. All around, a lot of things work in his favor to make him more powerful. Following the World Tournament, Gero figures out that Piccolo's alive, because he's pretty much spying on everybody, and he saw the tournament that Piccolo was fighting there. He's doing this to gather data for his next androids. He hasn't fully started work on Android 13 yet, but that's going to be the next big project. He's going to let a supercomputer finish that. He also has another idea in mind for a bio-android named Cell, but he didn't start the project just yet. That's going to be something he starts down the line. Anyways, now knowing that Piccolo's alive, of course, he wants to go after Piccolo for revenge. Piccolo destroyed every piece of the army. Tao wants vengeance too, and so does Kakarot, of course. Kakarot feels he's more than powerful enough to defeat Piccolo now. Even if that Piccolo's stronger than the one he fought, this shouldn't be too big of an issue. Besides, it'll make for a nice challenge for him too. A few years after the World Tournament, Kakarot encounters Piccolo. They knew he was alive, but they didn't exactly know where he was, so it took him a little bit to track him down, but he found him. Piccolo is stunned to see Kakarot alive. Of course, he has the memories of King Piccolo, and he knows that he killed Kakarot, and Kakarot says he almost did, but he failed to finish the job. Not only is he alive, but he's far better than ever. That battle was one of the first challenges Kakarot ever faced. He's had challenges amongst the Red Ribbon Army, fighting various strong people there, and of course training with Tao, but that was the first real deathmatch he had. It was invigorating. It was a lot of fun. Tao's also there to watch. He'd love to take revenge himself, but Kakarot's got this. Kakarot and Piccolo begin fighting, and pretty quickly, Kakarot's able to win the fight. Unlike Krillin, he's out for the kill here, and Piccolo warns Kakarot, if he kills him, the Dragon Balls will be gone. Doesn't the Red Ribbon Army want the Dragon Balls? Piccolo wants world domination too, and of course he's going to get that in his own way. But he knows the Red Ribbon Army, or whatever's left of it, they don't have the resources to take over the world. They're going to need the Dragon Balls. Face it, they can't kill Piccolo, and this confuses Kakarot at first, and Piccolo explains how it works. But Kakarot says he doesn't care about any of that. He's simply looking to become the strongest uncontested, and the Red Ribbon Army is no more. The Black Ribbon Army is gone as well. It's just a few of them. He wants to do things his own way. He doesn't care about avenging the Red Ribbon Army, and maybe taking over the planet for himself could be fun. As a Saiyan, that's kind of what he's born to do after all. But also, he doesn't need the Dragon Balls. That removes the fun. And because of that, he doesn't need Piccolo either. As Piccolo lays on the ground defeated, Kakarot launches a powerful Super to Danpa, finishing the job and killing Piccolo. Right now, Krillin doesn't look at. Kami suddenly collapses, and he tells Krillin that Piccolo's been killed. They have no clue how that would have even happened. Who out there is strong enough to kill Piccolo? It's certainly not one of their friends, like, they know not to go after Piccolo. And even if anyone like Tien did, as far as Krillin knows, that shouldn't have been an easy battle. Kami's not too sure of what's happened, but all he knows is that his time is limited. He only has a few seconds left. Krillin and Mr. Popo panic, but it's too late. There's no saving Kami. He's dead now. And there's no way to bring him back, because now there's no more Dragon Balls. Krillin needs to take initiative now. He's going to be the next Guardian, and he wants to fix this. He has so much more to learn from Kami, and he's not going to let him die just like that. Plus, if someone did kill Piccolo, that means there's a really powerful threat out there. And sure, it could be someone good that's going against Piccolo, because Piccolo wasn't necessarily a good guy that got killed. But more likely than not, it's probably someone else that's a threat. Krillin and Popo begin researching, trying to find out any way to bring Kami back. And maybe they'll have to look into Kami's history, which they don't know much about to begin with. Some more time passes. It's about 5 years after the World Tournament. Another space pod enters Earth's atmosphere. Kakarot sparring with Tao as Android 8 and Jiro watch. And immediately, Kakarot picks up on a strong power approaching Earth. What could this possibly be? And realizing that it's something coming in a ship, it makes Kakarot wonder, have the Saiyans finally come here? He's a bit excited. This is what he's been waiting for. And sure enough, that's exactly what this is. Kakarot goes straight towards the strong power, and that strong power comes towards him. Kakarot comes face to face with a man who has similar armor to what he used to wear. He also has a tail. The man greets Kakarot, and Kakarot greets him. He introduces himself as Raditz. He's Kakarot's brother. Kakarot always knew he was out there, but he never actually got to see Raditz in person. He just knew the name, but he's glad to see him in person. Alright, well, first order of business, why didn't Kakarot destroy this planet? And Kakarot explains his story. He actually even tells Raditz that he didn't have a mission to destroy this planet. From what he knows, their father sent him here just to survive. Weird. Raditz didn't even know that. Well, it seems like that's more Bardock's problem than Kakarot's. Okay, well, at least he's grown strong, hasn't he? And Kakarot says he definitely has. This will be a perfect opportunity to show off his strength. Raditz gets a brief rundown about what Kakarot's done here, so he knows the opponents he's fought, but he doesn't know if they're even impressive or not. The only way to see if Kakarot's strong is to fight him. And Kakarot's been waiting so long for this. The two start their battle with Tao watching on, and Jiro watching from nearby. They have a pretty explosive match. All the other warriors from around Earth can sense this. Tien and Chaozu can instantly sense it. Roshi and Yamcha feel it too. And, up on the lookout, Krillin can sense it. But Tien immediately recognizes the key that he's sensing. It's Kakarot. He's still out there. Even though he's become a cyborg, he still has a key signature. He only has some robotic parts. So he still has the natural key that a regular warrior would have. But then, there's the other key signature. It feels evil, but they don't know who it is, and it feels far stronger than anything they've ever sensed, even stronger than what Piccolo's was. Raditz's scouter has an issue picking up Kakarot's power. His power reads at 1000, which is pretty okay. It's not as high as his, but pretty close. But still, he was hoping for a little bit more. Although, Kakarot actually beats Raditz in the fight pretty easily, revealing that he's part android. Kakarot doesn't measure power with power levels. He measures it with ki. But even if Raditz knew how to sense ki, he wouldn't be able to feel Kakarot's true power. He estimates that his ki only represents a portion of his power right now. If he had to guess, he's probably more like around 4 or 5000, which surprises Raditz. His brother has surpassed him. It's a little bit of a hit to his ego, but also he's proud to see this. Kakarot will definitely be a good addition to their team. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Leave. Surely Kakarot wants to come with him, right? And yeah, he's gonna definitely join along. But then Jiro pops out from nearby, telling Kakarot that he can't leave. They still have so much more work to do. They have to avenge the army. And Kakarot says he doesn't really care about the army. And Jiro calls him an insolent fool. He brought him back to life. Kakarot wouldn't be alive without Jiro's help. And this is how he repays him? Kakarot says he'll probably be back eventually, but he wants to do what he wants. But then Jiro makes a really big mistake. He threatens Kakarot. Kakarot finds it kind of humorous. Jiro knows how strong he is. He can't fight him. And Jiro says he doesn't need to fight him. He can control Kakarot. He wanted to implant a bomb in him, but didn't have the time. That makes Tao a little bit worried. Does he have a bomb in him? Anyways, Jiro can't blow him up or anything, but what he can do is actually shut him down. He could remotely shut down the android parts and deactivate those pieces of Kakarot. It might not fully stop him because he's not fully android, but it should be enough for him to not betray Jiro. And as Jiro's monologuing about this, he's abruptly cut off by a purple ki blast that swallows him whole. Raditz just kills him right then and there. Kakarot's a bit surprised, but then he laughs, thanking his brother for that. And then Kakarot looks over at Tao. He's not going to stop him, is he? And Tao just laughs. He doesn't care. His student has a true assassin mindset. He only ever worked with the Red Ribbon Army because they paid him, and there is no army anymore. But Kakarot, he actually did like him as a student. It makes him really proud to see how strong he's grown and how he's developed. And if Kakarot ever comes back to Earth, he expects to test his power. And Kakarot thanks him. While he has no true connections on Earth, he did feel he formed somewhat of a bond with Tao. And Raditz kind of respects this guy too. He looks freaky, but he seems just as ruthless as a Saiyan. Very well then. Now it's time for them to leave. Even though Jiro's dead, he did make a supercomputer, working on his next android, number 13. But that will be his final project. Android 8 lives on, and of course, Tao lives on. Kakarot goes out into space, meeting Vegeta and Nappa for the first time. He doesn't really get along with Vegeta and Nappa at first because he is just another low-class weakling, so they kind of look down upon him. But after he proves himself in battle, they come to see that he actually might be more impressive than they thought. Going back over to Krillin now. By the time this is all happening, Krillin's actually made contact with King Kai. Seeing that the Saiyans have come to Earth and are possibly threatening it, and the fact that Kami died a few years back, he wants to help out. So Krillin's gone to King Kai's planet to train with him, and also learn more about Kami's history. He didn't really have much to work off of, but he and Popo did find Kami's old ship, and Bulma's gonna try and build a spaceship with that. They know Kami's not from this planet at least, but they don't know where he's from, and that's where King Kai comes in, telling them about Namek. There should be Dragon Balls there, and they could actually use that set of Dragon Balls to bring Kami back. So Krillin, Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, and Bulma all go to Namek, getting the Dragon Balls there, and it's a pretty peaceful endeavor. There's no Frieza Force there because they don't even know about the Dragon Balls. Well, besides Kakarot, that is. Summoning Porunga, they're able to revive Kami. And in the meantime, they warn Namek about the Saiyans and Frieza, because now they actually know who Frieza is. After everything that happened with Kakarot, they found out that he rejoined the Saiyans, and King Kai says the few Saiyans left are working under Frieza. So, that's probably where Kakarot is right now, which might be a good thing because he's not on Earth, but also, at the same time, that might put Earth on Frieza's radar. They gotta be careful. When they return to Earth, of course the Wish brought Piccolo back too. So Piccolo finds them and asks why they ended up reviving him. It was simply to bring Kami back. Piccolo fights Krillin again, and Krillin wins even more quickly than before. He suggests Piccolo be an ally to them if he wants to grow. He is a really strong warrior, and Krillin does like fighting him, but isn't he kinda limiting his potential by being like this? Imagine if he was training with other strong warriors consistently. Plus, he lets Piccolo know that Kakarot is still out there, and he knows Kakarot killed Piccolo. Now, he never met this Kakarot guy himself, but Tien's told him a little bit about him. And if all they know about Kakarot's true, then Krillin and Piccolo actually have a common enemy, and he might return, so who knows what they'll be up against. Piccolo's not really too sure about this, but of course, he wants to get his revenge against Kakarot. It is an enemy of my enemy situation. Piccolo's not going to join them outright, but sure, they'll have a temporary truce for now at least. Out in space, Kakarot continues to grow rapidly with the Saiyans, at some point even surpassing Nappa. Now Vegeta's really intrigued. As a low-class warrior, he still has the same mindset that Goku does. Hard work is going to bring him what he needs. And this also rubs off on Raditz a bit, but Kakarot's developing a ton. Sure, he does have a little bit of an advantage by being an android, but at the same time, a lot of what he's accomplished by now is due to his hard work back then. The 4 Saiyans are sent on a mission at one point, on an empty planet. Frieza's aware of Kakarot by now, obviously, and his army's grown so strong by now that he doesn't really need the Saiyans anymore. They're more of a liability, if anything. So he's decided to take that thorn out of his side, especially if they're recruiting another Saiyan. Who knows what they're up to? Maybe they're trying to finally rebel against him. Either way, he's going to put a stop to it. When they arrive on this planet, a few other strong Frieza Force soldiers are there. They try and fight the Saiyans, but to no avail. So the Saiyans quickly realize that this is some sort of trap. Frieza's trying to kill them. Zarbon and Dodoria then step out, also on the planet ready to kill the Saiyans with their own bare hands. Nappa then chuckles a bit. He just realized, this planet doesn't even have a moon. That was pretty smart of them. And Zarbon and Dodoria laugh at this too. What are they going to do without their grade 8 forms? In their base, if all 4 of them fought together, they could probably fight one of them, but this duo isn't going to be stopped by some regular Saiyans. Kakarot says unluckily for them, there are no regular Saiyans. And Vegeta's about to create an artificial moon for himself, but then Kakarot sticks a hand up in the air, projecting one out of his hands, surprising the other 3 Saiyans. They didn't know he had this trick up his sleeve. Literally. The best part is, it doesn't use any extra energy like creating a Powerball. The 4 Saiyans all transform into great apes, easily demolishing Zarbon and Dodoria and taking the planet for themselves. So, Frieza finally wants to kill them. It seems Kakarot has made him worried, and Vegeta says Frieza has every right to be worried. They are growing really strong. He's always wanted to topple Frieza, so he's glad Frieza's making the first move here. Who knows what waits for them ahead? With that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.